Hello there, good afternoon. Welcome once again to the Wake Up Guyana show right here on Kaieteur Radio. I want to say good day to our beautiful people across this wonderful nation of ours. It's a brand new day, brand new year as well. And, we have to get up. It would have been a very exhausting 2020. And as we got down to the holiday period, our body would have become a little lackadaisical, and it's always very difficult to get up in the new year, going back to work, get ourselves into the groove of things. But get up you will, and get up you must, because things have to be done. Monies have to be made, and you have to feed the family. You have to put bread on the table. If you don't do that, you know what is going to happen. It's going to be very, very difficult. So it is important that you get up and get those bodies working. Make sure that if you can, maybe make sure that you eat healthy, drink lots of water, and you should exercise. Take some walk. Make sure you try to do some push-up. Whatever it is, do not sit still. Do not sit and become a couch potato. Couch potato, the ones who sit in front of the television the entire day, day in, day out, and there's a routine there. Do not get accustomed to routine. Routine, if it is that you have to go to work. But as you know, as we've always said in this particular program over the last couple months, if it is that you do the same thing every single day and expect a different result, you have another thing coming. It means that you would have to do things a little differently if you intend to, one, experience a different results, end result that is. And if you intend to make a little more money, you're making a little money, you have to do something else. Either get a new job, plant some garden or something, but do something differently. Get up and get. Do not depend on anybody. The government is there to facilitate the process of making the policies, and of course, we're going to be talking a little bit about how you should, and we have been talking about it, that do not sit still and allow the people, the powers that be, to make decisions for you only, but make sure that they get those decisions and implement them and then enforce them. Because when they do that, you allow them. It's like a little child. You allow that child to do whatever they feel like, and I'm going to tell you a little about that too. I have the little children, and when you allow them a little leeway, you know what they would do. They would do things that they want to do, and then if you don't watch yourself, they wake up one day, go to bed 2 o'clock in the morning, and then you says this is okay. Then next night they go to bed 4 o'clock in the morning because they've been playing games, and you said that's okay. Next thing, you have a situation out of control. Same thing with our leaders and in life in general. If it is that you allow things to get out of hand, and you don't take control of it right now, by the time you catch yourself, you wake up, the situation has run away from you. Do not allow that to happen. We are a good people. We have been silent for too long. It is time for us to get up and says, I want a piece of that pie. It is my pie, and I need a good piece because I want to enjoy myself. And so that is what life is all about. That's what our resource is all about. So I want to say good day to you. It is January the 5th, 2021. It is the year when lots of things are promised to Guyana, one of the largest growth rate according to what the reports have been coming out. But compared to the rest of the nations, what do you have in your wallet? That is the big question that's on the table right now. How could we change those situations so we could be able to benefit a little more? And right across this nation of ours, I want to say good day to you. Of course, to the ones who are joining us overseas as normal, it's always such a pleasure having you on board to have your input into our little accommodation here. We call it the Wake Up Guyana show, and I know that it has been the room. Like room 592 that you would have been in for several months now, since August thereabouts, and we have kept your company. We've learned patience. There were many days that we were a little impatient and things happened, but guess what? You've seen us, you've been with us, you've guided us through, and for that I am very grateful. The folks down at Kaieteur Radio, very grateful for that. And as always, whenever we fellowship as a church, people would say, or we are comrades together, or we are at a party, the people who would have attended that, We talk, we have conversation, we share with each other. We're brothers and sisters. We look out for each other, and so all of that. I hope that it captures the idea what I really want to say. So. It's good day to you. It's January the 5th, 2021. And January has always been a very emotional month for myself. It's not only going back to school, going back to work, but January the 2nd happens to be my mom birthday. She's no longer here. January the 7th in 1980 was a day that has always stuck in my brain. The reason that was a date that my father was killed as a policeman, and so that was since 1980. It has always been there. So January has been a month, and then of course January is the month that you go back to work, you go back to school, and so on. So it's always been there. That whole infusion of emotions has always been there for me as an individual growing up. And we go quickly to a newspaper. We will be opening up the lines very early today. I don't see my co-hosts. I know that they're working hard. They're doing what they have to do. But we are going to be sharing it. Kimal and the rest of the guys are going to be sharing the show. It is going to be a tall order because, it takes a lot of time with this particular show. How does it go forward? How do we do it? We will be discussing that, trying to fine tune it, make sure that it remains here. It remains here for people that they could continue to have a voice on the Kaieteur radio. And so we will continue to do that in a very short while. 622 is where you send those messages to, and we will open a line to very shortly. 2267453. The traffic was easy on the East Bank this morning. That's just around 12 o'clock or so thereabouts, and it was a breeze going through. I even see by the Lepentance area here, where they normally have a block by the Pontrench area there would be a barrier there. They opened it so the traffic could flow even in front of Kaieteur News. I haven't seen that for a very long time, so it meant that the traffic was easy today. I'm not sure what it was a little early in the day during the peak period, but it was a little easy. One of the stories that really had me going this morning was a bunch of fishermen up in Berbice complaining that there was a school, a so-called school that would have given them certificate for them to work in the oil and gas industry, only to find out it was a big ripoff. And so I'm going to have to say to you again, as we go forward in this country, there's going to be many carpetbaggers. There are going to be many scam artists and many others who are going to come with sweet talks. Do not fall for it. You have to be smart. Ask questions. If you give me such and such a thing, if somebody comes and then all of a sudden comes out of nowhere and promises you that, find out from the authorities. Somebody has to be in charge. And if you don't know, ask. That's part of the education process. Do not be fooled. Do not be stupid. And I'm not saying that these people were stupid, but not paying attention to what people have been urging you. Whenever people come and tell you that you have a quick way of making money, find out a little more. What about this thing? Has it been advertised? The authority is aware of it. And if so, why are they not getting into it? Why is this thing not in the newspaper being advertised? It's so good. It's so good to be true. Why is it not out there? So something has to be wrong. So when they come and they open up, and these people were, I think, more than a dozen of them, fishermen who wanted to go work in the oil and gas. They were given certificates that were no good, according to the complaints that they made to the police. Well, when things like that happened, and it would have cost them heavily, people would have borrowed $100-something thousand. Is not easy money for a lot of people. A lot of people would scrape and beg and, borrow to raise that kind of money. And that's just the reality of it. It's just about $800, $900. It's not easy money. That is maybe 2-3 months salaries for some people, and that is the reality of it. So the front page of the Kaieteur newspaper here: Canadian oil service companies flock to Guyana gas to shore project. Guyana could be heading for environmental and economic disaster. There's international law alarmed that no EIA, there's an environmental impact assessment. So you want to put a big facility somewhere in Guyana that deals with oil and gas, and you don't know what kind of impact it's going to have on transportation to the people who live in next door, to the Demerara River where the fishing being done that is being used for transportation and so on. What kind of impact? So you don't know that, but you're saying this is a good place for it to be done. That's what the story is saying. Fail of government to punish corrupt party members undermines governance, says Greenwich. Former Foreign Minister Carl Greenwich. The sad thing about this, and without knocking too much on Greenwich, is that we wait until we're out of government. We wait until things happen, and then we come here all dressed in white, and we say things. When you were in government, what did you do? And these are some of the things that we have to pay attention. Fortunately, this government on the finale has hired Carl Greenwich, former foreign minister there, to help them fight this border case with Venezuela at the International Court of Justice in The Hague, the Netherlands. So it's a good thing for this government here, but it saddens me that while you have the power, while you're within the government, that you say nothing, but afterwards you say something. We have to got to criticize you for that. It's as if you are lily white, and you're all angels or altar boys or so on. Yeah, a lot of people are gonna get upset for me for saying that, but guess what? We are people. We have the right, but not only that, for year after year, election cycle after election cycle, we would have been seeing this happen, and we shut our mouth, and because why? They're the politicians, and nobody criticizes them because you see them all as untouchables. Well, the time has come where there's a young generation now. The people are not too very happy. We're not happy with what has been going on in this country. We're not too happy with accepting pittance for resources. We're not happy about accepting subpar or below par, if you will, performance while you're sitting in that office. It's about time for you to wake up and understand that you're there at the whim and fancy of the people of Guyana, and that you should serve and make sure that you deliver those services. These are very serious times, and we are not going to take no, and we're not going to take nonsense for any kind of service that you deliver to our people. Our people deserve so much more. And talking about that this morning, I did receive a call from a gentleman of Diamond Deer. And the man says, while we hit in on the government for this $25,000, he says it's a very hard task. And he was told, and he's seen, that they have to go to some areas that is beyond believable. The conditions through mud and long boots. Some of the finance ministry staffers and others who have been mandated to carry this $25,000, they have been going through some conditions, and he believes that this thing is not going to be over this year, not until the end of January. I think on the East Bank, they are around the Hope village, not too far from Grove there, before they actually get into the Diamond area. Many areas along the East Bank, and even within central Georgetown in itself, still awaiting. I think they are in the south Georgetown Safari area there for the move. It's a big exercise here. I don't think so. If you go into the second phase again, it's going to take a little while before this thing is all over. So wherever you are, whatever it is that you're doing, I want to wish you a good day. I want to wish you a very productive day. Failure of government to punish corrupt party members undermines governance, says Greenwich. Director of Atlantic Fuel released on $300,000 bail for falsified invoice. This is a very serious story here. This company here was granted a license, and this company had linkages to former head of the Guyana Water Authority, Dr. Richard Van West Charles. And he was a big ranking member of the People's National Congress, which was a large faction within the APNU, which was a part of the coalition government. He received this license for this Atlantic Fuels. Atlantic Fuels is being accused of filing fake invoices or giving wrong information to GRA, meaning that you could be able to give information. You could be able to give the information to GRA, but if you says that the fuel is worth $55 when it's worth $100, it means that you're going to get less taxes that you're paying to the government. So in that sense, GRA was incensed, and it took director of Atlantic Fuels, not Richard Van West Charles, but another man that was working there, to court, and he's been placed on bail. And it was a lot of money, millions of dollars that GRA could have possibly lost there. When you mirror that against what the people are being sent to jail for, remember we talked about the inequality of the justice system in Guyana, and how the court system and how poor people in Guyana have been faring when it comes to dealing with the courts and the police and everything. Well, you know, it's white collar crime. Somebody get hit, or blue collar crime, whatever you want to call it. Somebody get two slaps on the wrist, and they continue the merry way, and they go on and they work with other agencies, and it's all very good. In the meantime, our poor people in Guyana continue to pay the price because they don't have that much money. These are things that we have to talk about. These are things that you should converse about. Drunken driver begs cop for mercy after slamming into cars. Commander plans to name and share errand driver. Yes, the commander making the news again is no other than Errol Watts. And, we talked to him. Very serious man there, and this is on the West Bank. The man slams into several cars, then went to the station, very drunk, could barely hold himself up. He said, "Oh, give me a chance, officers. Give me a chance. I didn't really mean it." Well, you got to start somewhere. You can't be drinking and driving because when it does that, what drinking does is impairs the judgment. You can't see. If you used to see 100 feet, you see just about some persons might be able to have the capacity. It diminishes that. You see 20, 30 feet in front of you, you're thinking. When it says it impairs the judgment, that's what it does. So you can't be able, so you drive in and your feet is on that gas pedal there and you're flying and it's so wonderful until something happens. Guyana fines oil company for failing to honor work obligation, while Guyana embraces non-compliance. So if you say that I'm going to do something, you know what I told my boss, Glenn Lal? Today I'm going to give you three stories. And Glenn Lal, at the end of the day, I decided, you know what? I'm going to fool Glenn Lal. I'm going to give him one story. And I give him a very short story. And he doesn't do anything because he says, it's Gildarie. At the end of the day, let me give him a little scream, and that's about it. You can't scream at Gildarie. You take out some money out of his salary or suspend him for a couple of days. There must be penalties for not doing what you're supposed to be doing. And this is, in essence, what the story is saying right here. So you get your copy of the Kaieteur newspaper today and see what it is. Gabu says 6 odd workers fired at Wales. Nissel justifies decision. These are temporary wage worker at the Wales estate there. The government says that it's put an authority there, the Wales Development Authority, so they could be able to develop it. And so what you have happened, and Nissel says it's moving to ensure that the authority is starting its work. The problem is when you send home people, an entire family is affected. And Nissel says, and we have been able to find jobs, a couple of them, put them in security company, which would have been given jobs right at the Wales estate there on the west bank of Demerara. So this is a situation that goes on with the sugar industry here, or farm sugar industry estate, Wales estate there. So we have to pay attention to these little stories too, because a lot of people are complaining. A lot of people are finding it very hard when they lose a job. It's families that are being affected. Agri Minister establishes task force to monitor flood-prone areas. That's a situation we will be faced with. We are below sea level year after year, faced with the same thing. It's like a cycle: rains for the farmer, drought for the farmer, flooding, overtopping, and in all times it has exposed our weaknesses. It's squatting and everything would be showing a lot of issues there. Fire got Alexander Village apartment there. Let me see. We have 2 more deaths here, and we got to be very careful. 21. Let me see. The 3 new cases, the number of recoveries. And let me just read this story. On the 4th day of the year, the ministry has recorded 21 new COVID-19 cases, taking the number of cases to 6,339. New cases were discovered in several regions, according to the breakdown of the Ministry of Health dashboard. The dashboard outlined that 3 new cases discovered in Region 1, 7 in Region 2, 2 in Region 3, 5 in Region 4, 1 in Region 6, and 5, and 2 in Region 10. And 9 persons in institutional isolation, 264 at home isolation, and 22 in institutional quarantine. And that means that the number of cases that people have been sent home have been reduced. I'm not sure if it's because of Christmas season we've reduced the number of tests, but these figures look pretty good compared to a couple of weeks back. Let us see when they increase the number of tests, whether we are going to see a turnaround on this situation here. I think we are there right about now. It is just about 25 after just after 1 o'clock today. You tuned in to the Wake Up Guyana show right here on Kaieteur Radio with your host Leonard Gildarie. As we come down to our weekend, there is a couple of things that we have to fine tune with regards to this program as we go forward. Continue to keep you updated with that. But we go quickly, before we open the lines, we go quickly to what our people are texting, what it is that they're saying. Good afternoon to you. Happy New Year. I hope you read my message today. I text you this message. Something is bothering me because I talk out about a 10-year-old child selling in a bar was charged with a sidebar crime. Every time that we call the police station and child care, they never did anything. And because I talk about it in a live and asked for high people to look into it, I was charged because I spoke out about this little girl. I think you need to talk to me about this and find out. Let me find out why it is that they charge you, because I can't understand that somebody would be charging somebody because you spoke out about something. The police are involved? Is that what you're saying? The police are doing something with a cover-up and in a retaliatory kind of a strike? They would have punished somebody. I would like to hear stories like this because I like to talk about it. We like to talk about it right here. We're not going to tolerate it. It's 2021. The time for having our people being penalized or not being able or fearful of speaking out. Those times are gone. It's about time that you open up your mouth, and we're going to talk about it right here. Good afternoon, Mr. Gregory. Contrary to what the caller felt about Mr. Jagdeep performance in the Galen last show, I feel that Mr. Jagdeep failed miserably. Of course, Mr. Lal has to know that the moderator are in charge. If the signal need to move on to the next question, he has to obey. I feel that Mr. Lal's reluctance to move on resulted in one of the moderators leaving the set not feeling well. But that's not a big deal. They are a wonderful team of smart young people who want to regroup and prepare for round two. Mr. Lal has already found the solution to deal with the VP, which is to let him talk all the fancy language, then review the tape and find the contradictions. Keep up the good work. My best wishes that all goes well with whatever you have to deal with during your time away from the show. Thank you very much. Good job, Mr. Gildarie. Mr. Glenn Lyles. The other version is CN Sharma. Lots of talks and little substance. It seems as if he has political ambitions. He will no doubt end up like Mr. Robert Battle. I'm not sure I agree with this because, I could talk about a couple of things and not be fearful of any kind of thing. We have a newsroom there, and it is a fact that while Glenn is the publisher here, it is a good thing that people are very concerned about the number one newspaper and about the number one radio here. But I can tell you that we would have a conversation with Mr. Lal, in-depth conversation about the direction of this newspaper. As a good newspaper, you have to consistently look at where you are, assess, make your adjustments, and then move on. I can tell you that Mr. Lal is always very there to hear what we have to say. And let me tell you this, we don't beat around the bush. So when you hear, if you believe that we talk a lot up here, you should hear what goes on in the media downstairs here. Mr. Lal, and we were fearful that this newspaper here picking up the battle with this oil thing could be headed in a different direction. You see, sometimes you have to decide what is it that you want to do. The newspaper is doing its mandate. It has been doing its mandate for years now, starting like around 2008, 2009. That's when I saw a major shift looking at value for money for the people. And what do I mean by value for money? We started looking at contracts and what is government or the government of the day was paying for contract, and we heard all kind of story how some ministers were taking 10% on every contract. We understand that there were many shortcomings, like contractors were working along with engineers, and instead of giving you 4 inches of bitumen, they give you 2. And that's because they're being paid. Everybody happy. And because you have to pay the minister, pay the engineer, the contractor has to recoup the money. So what is he going to do? Is give you, how you say it, cockwork? That's what they're going to give you. They're going to give you a con job. And so they're going to give you 2 inches instead of 4 inches. It might sound funny. At the end of the day, we as people of Guyana, you would see a road breakup within 4 months after being built, and you want to know why it break up. It is because you've been given a different work from the specs. The specs are okay. The specs is what the engineers would do up and says, look, you need to give me 4 inches. You need to put so much tar, so much bitumen, and so much, and this is what you need to do and for you to get it. And imagine you get half of that. What kind of road, when you put the weight onto the road and then you got the rains coming down, it's going to wash away the road. If you don't have proper shoulders on the road, a man did call me and tell me, they're building these roads here and a couple of the areas. I see that happening in Berbice. If you don't put proper shoulder, when the weight hit it, it is going to spread right open, and you're going to have a big sinking in the middle of the road. You're going to fasten and all kind of thing. I see that happen so many times, and we would have experienced that. So to come back to what we were talking about, this newspaper would have continued over the years, been shifting itself, looking at whatever. The government that is in there for the day, they're always the one that's going to be targeted, because you're responsible as a government to make sure that you either spend the people's money good, you govern properly, that there are proper policies. If it's oil, if it's the management of our forests, if the management of our gold industry, if it's a collection of taxes, if it's the police, it's the government of the day ultimately that takes rap for it, because the buck stops at the president. So whatever it is, I think I'm not sure that Glenn wants to run. I don't. That is not. I don't think we should even be thinking about that, because I think what is very, very clear is that the newspaper will continue fighting these battles. I remember fighting, I think what it was, by channeling, and we took so much blows for that, because how dare you, as a newspaper, take on a big Chinese company like this, an investor. But when you discovered what this investor was doing, came in here, promised us the moon and the stars, but in the meantime was taking out all the furniture through the back door. And what I mean by the furniture, all your assets and everything, your forestry, all the timber and everything through the back door, and nobody checking to them. They're not building a processing plant as they think. They said they would bring in a lot of money into the country. They took some of the money. Instead of building a processing plant, they're buying lands all over the place. Want to do housing, started doing housing. Then they run into problem on the other areas. So we continued as a newspaper to look at this. We paid some prices heavily. Maybe Glenn is going to tell you about a little of those prices. But at the end of the day, this it is, we have to be realistic about what is happening in this country. As a messenger, do you kill the messenger? Do you allow them to deliver what is it that is happening in this country? Would you have a preference of not knowing what is happening in this country? These are some of the big issues that we have to, at the end of the day, when you look at the other modern countries, other first world countries, at the premiums that they give to the media that are out there. There's a lot of respect for them. Some countries, of course, they kill some of the reporters because of what they're exposed. And Mexico has a big set of numbers there. In the Middle East, every single day, media workers are on the front line, and it is always a touch and go situation. We would have a known situation of reporters being beheaded and things like that, and even being killed in front of the cameras. So when you see stories like that, it is something that we have to sit down and just decide whether we want to go there, whether we want stories to come out, or we want to shut our mouth and just allow the status quo to remain. The status quo is the same situation. We could shut our mouth, or we could have this situation with hope that when it comes out, that our people are going to take note, our politicians are going to take note, and we are going to try to improve on this situation. So it's just about 35 minutes after 1 o'clock. Are we taking a break now? No, our boy says no. So guess what? 6222222. Please send us those messages to that number, there, to your WhatsApp, or to the normal SMS. And of course, as always, it's 226-7453. Let us get those callers coming in, because we want to talk to our people here. I want to engage with you guys here today. Do we have a caller online already? Good afternoon, caller. You're on the air. Go right ahead.
Hello, good afternoon, Gildarie.
Yes, good afternoon, sir.
Yeah. In Line Party, right? You know Line Party, Kellen?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, from here, Winston Roberts?
There's some Grove.
No, Line Park.
No, I don't know Winston Robert, but go ahead.
Skellen.
No, sir, but go ahead.
Inside, I sent some pictures I show you inside your street. You get some boys there.
Yes.
And after last night, nobody killing snake, then we gonna tell him. He say he laugh, like, that joke.
And who is he?
Winston Roberts, the mayor of Skellen.
Okay. Oh, Mr. Roberts here.
Yeah.
Did you guys ask him to cut it down, and what he
Yeah,
says?
we actually you laugh, like, and joke.
No, he got to be more serious.
And enough thing I mean, tell him when you laugh. He's a mayor, he's supposed to do all the thing.
Yes, yes. Well, let me tell you this. And I'm going to call out Mr. Roberts here. If this is indeed the case, the people are asking you to clear it up.
Yeah.
If you see just ask them to have it clear up, and if it doesn't, you guys have the option of writing to the newspaper, and we could put a letter up to the editor. Just
Yeah.
get somebody to write it up. A couple of
Yeah,
residents here.
I mean, if anything, you can tell big man, because you tell he laugh, like, that and joke.
Okay, this is any particular part in line patch.
Yeah, like past School Street.
Line Patch School Street. All
Yeah.
right, I'm gonna have a chat
Right
with
in
him.
there you live, the mayor, right
Uh-huh.
4 hours after with the budget. I sent a picture again, yeah?
Okay, I haven't really looked at the
Yeah.
thing. Okay, I'm gonna have a look at it, and thank you very much for that. Right?
Yeah, thank you.
Yes. I want to say good day to the folks down in the Berbice area there today. I hope that you're doing well, that the rains have eased. I know we had a couple of days of rain and it was projected to last until yesterday. The sun did come out somewhat here today, and I hope that you're making much of that we could get back into a rice planting, cash crop, and so on. Money's have to be made, and I hope that you're making money this year. We need to do better as a people, and we have to put our best foot forward and try to make much of the situation. Like I've always said, we're doing far better than a lot of the other places, but we could do much better with what we have. So there's nothing with you aspiring to be there, and as always, let's get up. Let's put our shoulders to the wheels, as they would say on the ships. All hands on deck. Good afternoon. Happy New Year to you and your family. I always tune into your program, not because I'm young. I always like to listen to your program. It's Simran from Wakenham. Keep up the good work you're doing and stay safe. Thank you very much to the folks down there at Wakenham and all the Essequibo Islands, in fact. And if you don't know your Essequibo Islands, should be able to. There are many islands dotting the Essequibo River there. Leg One, Fort Island, Sloat Island, and there's so many things. I'm sure there's a Turtle Island. There's even an island in which there's a house. So I think many people know that. It's Eddie Grant, I think, has a house on that island. If you go up further up the Essequibo River there, you're going to see ROI Resort is on one of those islands there. On the right-hand side, if you're heading up the Essequibo River, heading up to Bartica area, on the right-hand side, Parama has a little resort kind of sawmill in operation there, big operation, beautiful place there. So there are many things. If you haven't been traveling Guyana and you have the opportunity to travel, so many things to see there, and you should know your places. I learned in school. I never really paid attention with the roads opening, with no more flights and so on. We should be familiar with our country. We should know the places. Essequibo Islands. They have Supernam Creek. Want to say good day to the folks. I haven't heard from them for a little while. Anna Regina and all those places along the Essequibo coast. I want to say good day to you, Lyndon. How it is that you're doing today? I know we have quite a number of followers up there. Hi. Okay. Okay. This is somebody sending me. They asked me to deal with this issue here. Do we have another caller on air? Good afternoon, caller. You're on the air. Go right ahead. Hello. I think no. It doesn't come through there. Let me get some other messages here. In the meantime, it's a Wake Up Guyana show right here on Kaieteur Radio. Hi, Mr. Gildarie. I'd like Mr. One Edgel or GPL to look at the Enmore Estate Road during the ending of last year. About 18 new street lights were installed on the post and are not working. I'd like if this could be fixed to work, because the road is dark at night and people getting beaten up and robbed. Yes, do me a favor, call 226-1875, 226-1875. That is the Ministry of Public Works, and ask them for some numbers that you could probably make those complaints to, and they would come and fix it. I think there's an active department within the Ministry of Public Works which is dealing with the street lights and so on. And you could probably request street lights, but you could also complain about the non-functioning street lights. They're supposed to be looking at them. Happy New Year to all, and you at the radio station. I'd like to know when the Georgetown Eye Clinic is going to restart doing cataract operation. I've been waiting since last March when it stopped because of COVID. I think they're about to restart. It's not only Georgetown Eye Clinic. I think up in the Barbies, I think is a Port Morant ophthalmology center there. I've been told that it will be doing some big things. They are getting some more doctors, some more specialist doctors, and we are going to have some surgeries being done here that even some of the Caribbean territories are not doing it. So I have no idea when they are going to reopen, but I know that I've been told that the Port Moranta, they're doing some big things there. Just bear up a few moments. I'm going to try to get some details from our doctors there. Do we have another caller in the air? Yes, good afternoon, caller. You're on the air. Go right ahead.
Hi, good afternoon, man. Happy New Year.
Same to you, sir. Go right ahead.
Yes, man. We got some problem in this country. I don't know if we can handle it.
Yes, sir.
We got some foreign citizens taking up all the big jobs. The small Guyanese.
What are the big jobs are you talking about?
Attacking more about Passad, Sheikh, Bax, Gashri Station,
Uh-huh.
and Gaisuko CU. Them the big jobs.
Uh-huh.
What we getting now is not a brain drain, you know. We getting a financial drain. All these people got a family overseas in the United States and other place, right?
Uh-huh.
When they draw their salary, they don't spend it in Ghana. They take everything. Most of these people got a plane ticket in their job description to the States. So they take all their money and they spend everything. Now you in Ghana here, we really got a financial drain. And another thing, let me tell you, sugar debt. The world condemns sugar.
Uh-huh.
Why we expense? You know what's going to happen with me later on? The sugar industry will fail and the oil go down.
Well, you see, the issue, sugar is something as we got to be very careful. At one point in time, I used to think the same way, but I'm going to address it. But go right ahead, though.
Yes, the world sugar is not profitable anymore. The world health reasons is one and other things. So we got to address a lot of issues, especially this financial drain. The Exxon Mobil and other oil company going to care their share. Then the foreign citizens in the country going to care what they earn. What will happen with we?
Uh-huh.
So that is me problem.
Yes, and it is a big issue because we have to build our capacity here. We have to start training people, and not tomorrow or today. We have to start like yesterday. If you understand how critical this situation is, we are. I was over in Trinidad a couple of years back. I think it was 2018, and the people that I stayed by, one of them was working at Schlumberger, and he was one of the guys who brought Schlumberger here, and they bought over Gaffurs and so that whole area there to put it on. And he was telling me that our concentration, our focus should be at the moment is to train people and build that capacity. And every time that they come into the country, for one foreign worker expatriate, we should have about 5 persons that we train in. And that has to be a policy. It is no negotiation with that.
Let me tell you something, man. People like Sheikh Bax, he had in GWI. You ain't got to train nobody there. You got people can replace young qualified. Robert Passad. We don't have to train these people. We got people, Godfrey Sasha, we got people like can fit in this position now in Guyana, qualify.
Yeah. All right, no problem. These are things that we have to. I think these are issues that we have been making the wrongs. We could quarrel about it from now till tomorrow morning. We have to find the people. I think for me, the big issue is, are these posts advertised? Have we been able to interview the people, or has it been handpicked and given to these people? Those are things that we need to pay attention to.
That is very problem.
And I think that those are the issues, because if we look in recycling the same kind of people, but guess what? I think this government would do well that within a year or two, that it looks back. I think every year a government in place should look back at its cabinet and its executive heads, do an assessment of them, and then decide whether they want to do. So you can be given out contracts, especially as heads of the different state entities like GWI and GPL and give them a 3-year contract. No, you give them a year and let me see whether you could perform. I give you certain benchmarks and targets for you to be able to meet. And if you can't meet that within the first year, then I review you. And if you haven't met them, if you can't give a proper excuse, out you go. That's how I would do it.
I agree with you. But they got to advertise this position.
Well, right. I'm not sure whether these were advertised, but I agree with you. All right.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you very much. I want to say a prosperous new year to you
All the
too.
best for you.
Same to you. Good. And so let's come back to sugar. But this gentleman has raised some very good points. In everything that we do in this country going forward, there should be a very clear path or a very clear way in which we do things. Meaning, if you advertise, if you're doing contracts, that everybody has an opportunity. It's not just. I mean, somebody called me the other day and complained. How could you open the procurement, especially for some drugs and things like that, things that we could supply right here to international companies? You're doing yourself a disservice if you do that. I don't know all the details, but the person did raise a point. If we don't give everybody an equal opportunity, then what you're going to be seeing, excuse me, what you're going to be seeing is that you're going to have one bunch of people that are going to be there all the time. I think that's what he's saying. Now, um, we have to continuously be talking about the rule of law, about using systems and procedures. Guy Suko would have very clear systems how you go about hiring somebody. I don't think say Singh, as the chief executive officer acting, has been confirmed as yet. He's just there acting in that position until they find somebody. It's a temporary position, and I hope that they are looking at that. But Gaisuko in itself should be an entity that's in transition. Whether you put it in private hands, like what the previous government would have done or tried to do, whether you keep a couple of estates and says, let us make enough sugar to supply the local market. I'm not sure what is going to be the model. But what is important is that whatever it is that we do have to be covered very, very clearly on the rules of engagement that are very clear to the people. And rules of engagement simply means if you got to advertise a thing, everybody, Tom, Dick, and Harry, Raj, Gildarie, Glenlal, and the rest of them should have a possibility of applying for that job, and they should be interviewed as well. And when they're interviewing them, they give them a point system, meaning Glenlal can get this job because of XYZ. He doesn't have the qualification. The qualification for this job is a degree, a master's degree in finance or something that you would have there. He hasn't worked with the sugar industry, but says has worked. So those are the kind of things that we talk in rules of engagement that it has to be, and it can be that we keep shifting it every time we want to do it. So these are the things that you would want to be talking about. Do we have another call in the air? Good afternoon, caller. You're on the air. Go right ahead.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yes, sir.
Very good. Gildarie,
Yes, sir.
I got a few things I want to share with you today, right?
Go right ahead.
Now, one, recently when you had Freddie Kisun on this program, I be annoyed with you in terms of like an hour and a half taking up speaking about the election, right? And you know, Glenlal come and divert it. Real unique, real clean, finish it off unique. In terms of speaking about our country resource.
Yeah.
You know, it's like you speak about the story where a woman had to do which her husband had to do a surgery when it cost 6.5 million. Now, that 6.5 million, I certain that wasn't the bill or the cash she had here. She had it overseas, which it would have been toward something thousand US. Now, you see the state of our dollar. Now, if we could get this economy moving, if it jump into cents, we money got value. But when it's in dollars, this economy ain't got no value. When it's in dollars, it means that we money in trouble. So we should definitely get our resources in order, and the people is who should get possession of it. Now, yesterday, you touch upon something that cover whatever anger I had before, because you speak about the Auditor General, and you went into guts with it in terms of the Auditor General keeps showing year go, year come, the excessive money that these people keep spending. And it starts from, they're starting a contract at 20 million and the contract finishing at 80 million and 90 million. And this foolish cycle continue going over and over and over, and it doesn't address it. And the people is who got to wake up to it. Secondly, I want to ask a question. What happened to these small parties? We got to wait till the end of 5 years for these small parties to come and start making a voice known and addressing situation that worrying the people. For instance, this same thing with water drops, with the water pressure that drop.
Yeah.
And Sheikh has to refuse to come and address it on the television or any media or open a public meeting and discuss it. They're in the shell, and these small parties issuing no way name look on Water Street, right? When you come in from, let me say you coming from the bottom of Water Street heading south, if that truck, Munishwar, some big truck park up swinging in, and if you got your car in Stabrook, the police, if you got your car in Stabrook for whatever reason, you might stop for somebody crossing the road. The police don't come, put you in the corner, and they can charge you for obstruction from a car coming from behind you. Now, on Water Street with these big trucks, you got the whole line of vehicles that pulling from behind the trucks. This accurately obstruction, they got an outpost right in the corner. Now, whoever running Munishwawa affiliated to people in high ranking because they got high ranking officer passing right there. But you know the end of the day who paying? The small man who gonna stop around the place for obstructing, being out of lane and all kind of thing. And base stupidness going on down at the end there, and it ain't being addressed. What is this small party? What is small party? What is making nice? Why now they ain't coming out and address it? The had a fellow was speaking that these are things that need to be addressed in open space that is going to be addressed. Who is it? Now, secondly, we got a small party here. A fellow just speak about sugar there, right? Where he used to say, the big business now is agriculture. Why they ain't going into it? Now, why he ain't writing about it? Why he ain't speaking about it? Why they don't get people in line into it? Because we got them kind of money. They got people, they got big businessmen who got money that could, even with this place name, IPM, they could train people and get them into sector by sector in terms of getting. Because very so consistently knock on agriculture. There's plenty areas that they need to start getting the people mobilized. But finally, one of the things I want to speak about here now, you got a big yard. We had a wedding recently. When you got certain guests coming, you should allow people to write in who want to come, profile them, so that they could come with the question and paper, because paper never full up in. You got the question, you're entitled to 3 minutes or 4 minutes. With the question to whomever, if it's Jagyo, Nandalal, whoever, you got the question to post to them. Getting this place moving is not by just you alone speaking at Ian Sharma and a couple people from the background hiding the opinion. We need to get away to mobilize this place and not keep pinning the people who do and who didn't do. We need a structure that could move the place together and put these people to work. Finally, is this one now. And some people speaking about Glenlal. Then some people speaking about Glenlal and Kaieteur News. Something I want them to know that Glenlal got to keep vibrant. You know why? Glenlal lose 5 cameramen inside the same building sitting in.
You know, we have a very, very poor memory. When I hear...
Hold on. The 5 cameramen is not a play thing. It's a serious business we're talking about. And the only reason people would be up against you is because you're totally against the system. This thing with these politicians and this aisle and by Shanling and etc., it's bigger than with this. What a mom has got 2 cars in front of the aisle or the bank. These people got bigger business behind the scene going away and ripping this country resource. But my thing is, that these people know they didn't kill 5 cameramen because they want it's a play thing as a Dali house. There's a reason why they kill 5 cameramen. I know Freddie soon, whenever we reach, I'm going to ask you why he keeps scratching at this 2015 elections. We can give you one day. I don't want to raise it here. But we're saying we must give salute. I personally feel Glenlal should got a flyer or something with the 5 cameramen upon the building, upon the 5 print upon the building, would die. And Glenlal being the owner of Kaieteur News, being the founder and everything about it, it got to be vibrant. And there's a war in terms of sensitizing this nation where I is concerned, because 5 pressmen were there is not a plaything. Trying to throw a grenade there, if the grenade go off, we don't know what would happen and who would have died. So it got to be aggressive and be on the back foot.
Thank you very much for that.
Other people get into.
Thank you very much, caller. On the ball with quite a number of points here, and let me address two of that, which I believe that we should. Number one, the management of the city, and we did talk about it. We've been talking about it. We've been crying about it. We've been cussing a couple of people about it. When it comes to the management of this city here, and like of every community across this country, the issue of local government comes into play. The issue as to the relevance of local government, as to the authorities that they would have, as to the power that they would have to make things happen, to change the quality of life, does not see garbage or drainage and everything, is in the hands of the local government. If they don't do the job, it has to be blamed on the chairperson, on the mayor of those particular areas of those particular local government. The Region 4. In Region 4, let me tell you how sad this thing is. We have a RDC Region 4. This is a Regional Democratic Council Region 4. It's somewhere in the Triumph area on the east coast of Demerara. In your community, you would have a NDC, Neighborhood Democratic Council, which is in charge of collecting rates and taxes and so on and so forth, collecting the garbage and keeping the alleyway clean and so on. Then you have in Georgetown, you also have the main city council. Let's look at the Georgetown, for example. I can't understand, for the heaven's sake, you have your city streets. And this has been something that's ongoing for more than 2 decades or so, since I know myself as a little boy. People taking over the streets and selling. I mean, they got to make a living and money got to make, as they say, right? You're there taking over the street in front of the people them store. People who are paying taxes and so on. And you want to know why it is that these people are not paying the full taxes. When you see nonsense like this happen, everybody breaking the laws, you go into the city council and you pay somebody a little raise. Yes, city council. Everybody knows that the engineer department and so is very corrupt. Everybody knows who the enforcement arm, the garbage the disposal, the garbage collection department and so on, how they're giving out contracts willy-nilly, and sometimes even with the council knowing, but at the end of the day, the council got to pay for it. How is this that they have millions of dollars outstanding, they're not collecting it from the people, but yet they expect to keep the city as this? The city stinks because you have a city council therein year after year fighting with each other, and they're sitting there and they go walk away. Every mayor that comes in there comes out with a very big plan. You see a woman mayor. We had a female mayor. I think it's Patricia Chase Green a couple. Everybody loved the woman when she came out. Then they're there a couple morning, and then they become part and parcel of the rest of them. Your brother Ryan came out and was jumping drain. We have pictures of him. Very, very positive in the way that he did things. Couple morning, same old, same old. The ball is in your court. You need to do something. If it doesn't work, open your mouth. Say something. The government is giving you a wrong deal. They're not cooperating with you. Do not sit in the office and quarrel about it. Get up out there. Call a press conference. When was the last time that you did that? Do not play. Your entire legacy, your performance and everything is under scrutiny. The city stinks. You have to be blamed for that. Do not blame the government. The government will do what it has to do. If you don't collect your taxes and don't clean the city here, if you don't do your work collecting people garbage, it is you to be blamed. You have to be put in that position when you don't perform, and we don't know why you don't perform. You have to be blamed. Simple as that. That goes the same thing for the Neighborhood Democratic Council. People come and they beg you to knock on your gates, and they said, we're going to give you the moon and the stars and the world, to smile with you, to bring a hamper to your place, those who are fortunate to receive a hamper. Guess what? Couple morning, you can't even get them on the phone. These are the things that we deal with day in, day out. The people complaining, can't get Shake Bash. Can't get these people. What are they doing? The people calling. The people want to have some kind of resolution to the issues. They're going to be calling a radio station. Yes, we will do our job. But it tells a very sad story. It paints a picture that is not so very good for this country. Where do we want to go as a people? Do we want to remain the same thing? 20 years back, CN Sharma was the one who receiving all these complaints. 20 years forward is Kaieteur Radio. It is the Wake Up Guyana show. Why can't we have a change that our system actually works? GPL actually works. GT&T actually works, but no, we're accustomed to taking a 6 for a 9. We're accustomed to taking systems, the kind of services that we have right now, because why? We deserve it? Or because our leaders that come out, that they believe that the people, I'm going to give them a 6 for a 9 and let them take it because that's what they deserve, that's what they like. You shouldn't like it. You should be able to understand that you have the right, that you have the power to do things differently. I'm not sitting here to send my blood pressure up every single day to be talking about the same thing every single day. It seems as if the people in the office, they're sitting in the AC office, get down to the people in the street. I like what the ministers are doing. The other ones there, the PSs and everyone of them, get down on the streets. The mayor do not sit there and call a press conference. Get down, visit the people. Do not only wait on the flood for a photo opportunity and put on your long boots and walk there. Walk every single day. Are you throwing garbage in front? When was the last time the NDC chairman came out in the Diamond Grove area? When was the last time that the mayor of Kaieteur has walked the area in the dry season to see what is happening in terms of the garbage, how the trench in the line path area is looking? Those are the issues. And Blackbush Poland, they had to behave bad, start protesting, and the minister went down there, thank God for that. But at the end of the day, it shouldn't be the minister having to leave from Georgetown from his office to get down there. What happened to the regional chairman? Yes, they're doing their work, but you understand what I'm saying? They have to do their work. There's a call online. Okay, so 6222222. Please send us those messages and to the number that you call into the radio station here. It's 2267453. It's the Wake Up Guyana show with your host Leonard Gildarie, and we tuned in to Facebook, Kaieteur Radio on Facebook, or Kaieteur Radio live stream on YouTube. I hope that you're having a wonderful day across this beautiful nation of ours. That it's a new year, that you don't take nonsense, because we've been taking nonsense from our people for the longest while, from our own people, the people that came begging for us to give them a chance. Well, you give them a chance. We entered a relationship, you enter a marriage relationship for 4 years or 5 years, and you haven't delivered. You don't cook in the kitchen, you don't clean the house, you don't do anything. Why should I keep you? Because I like your face? The face ain't gonna work. If we're gonna starve in the kitchen because guess what? You're not waking up early in the morning, or because you're not motivating me to do what I have to do. I'm not saying that because it sounds a little wrong, because that goes for the ladies, right? But the men also has to be blamed, because you gotta get up and help the ladies in the kitchen as well. Get up and do your part as well, At the end of the day, it's a partnership, the thing that we're doing. So if you don't open your mouth and demand from your people, from your leaders within the communities to do their thing, but if you don't also do your stuff, instead of throwing the garbage out of the minibus, out of the cars, out of your 4-foot or wherever it is that you throw your garbage, out in front of your yard, and then you expect the NDC to solve all your problems. When you park your thing, or you mix cement on the road, or you throw your sand on the road and expect the NDC to have the solutions to your problem, you got to get up. You're a bunch of lazy people, you're a bunch of nasty people when you get ready. Not everybody. They got some people who take care of it. But let us be real. Let us be real about some of the ills of this country. And if you want to get up and you want to clean this country up, everybody has to play the role. Is there a call online? Good afternoon, caller. You're on the air. Go right ahead.
Get up and you want to clean this country up.
Hello. Hello. Could you take off your radio, please?
Hello?
Yes. Good afternoon, caller. You're
Sorry
there.
about that, sir.
Yes.
Listening.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Good day to you, Mr. Gildarie. Happy
Good to
New
see
Year
you.
to you, your family, and the Kaieteur family.
Thank you.
I must thank the Kaieteur family to keeping our nations abreast of what's going on, and most of all, educating our people.
Yes,
So,
sir.
With that said and done, now I have a burning issue going on since 2015. And I know that you are well aware of this, but I would like the nation to know about it again under this administration. Concerning that issue at Verding which myself and 2 other vendors have been vending there for over 20-something years on a plot of government reserve. A man in 2018, he get a transport not 2018, 2019, sorry, he get a transport for the state reserve. He is claiming that he owned the state reserve. The other day we did a survey again, and it is clearly showing that there is a state reserve. This man break down our business place that we had there, break up our stall, damage all of our thing. When we go to the station, the police say that's a private matter. The land is not ours. The land is not the man. The man break up our thing, Mr. Gildarie.
I know that situation, and for those who are not joining us, that's in front of the Vredenhoop Junction there.
Vredenhoop Junction.
And they were even attempts to block off a road that leads to school. You imagine that? This is where our country is coming to. A jokey country, if you want to talk about it that way. You know, we got to call it for it. It might sound bad, but we got to get up. These are nonsense that happens. But go ahead, sir.
Yeah, Mr. Gildarie, the man that tried to block a road leading to the access to a village at the back there, which everyone knows Plastic City, the road that was leading to the school. One person alone. Hello?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Uh-huh.
The road that was leading to the school, that is leading to the school, right? He was trying to put a gate there. I have video of these things, which the man was claiming that every child have to pay $20 to him to pass.
This matter is still before the courts?
The matter is no longer before the court because we don't have ownership of the land. The land doesn't belong to us, it belongs to the state. But I am saying, if the state is selling that land, don't it have to go to the person who is occupying that land first priority?
I think so, but if that person, whoever went and they claim for it, my little knowledge of the law, under the prescriptive right, I think because when he would have done it, was it prescriptive? Because I think you can't have prescriptive right to state lands anymore. They did pass the law.
Mr. Gildarie, I beg you, if I could come and reach you a day in this week or next week, I have the documents to show you. Mr. Fazal Raymond, I'll call name because I have nothing to fear. Mr. Fazal Raymond applied for prescriptive title for that set plot of land in 2014.
Uh-huh.
Sorry, 2008 he applied. In 2014, there was a judgment. The judgment states that the land is state land and you cannot get prescriptive title. I have the judgment, which Mr. Nandalal was the lawyer for Mr. Fazal Raymond. And Robson Ben was the one who defended that land on behalf of the government.
Yeah, well, I was there. I'm familiar with the story. In fact, I did write the story for Kaieteur News.
I would like the nation to be familiar with it also.
Well, let me tell you what you guys could do too, because Mr. Nanlal is there, the local government minister. I think you all guys should, because the area is being affected here. A couple of the residents there with the business people who are affected should form a delegation and go see either Mr. Nanlal or Nigel Damlal. Sorry.
Yes, sir. I made appointment to see Mr. Nandalal from the time they got into government on to today's date.
Get a delegation. Get a delegation.
Get the delegation. So
get a delegation. Go in. Get your documents, and I think they could be able to. I think because Mr. Nandlal, as the Attorney General, is a very proactive guy, and he will. I think he is going to act on it, especially if there's a group. And I'm sure this matter, because it has to do with the state, it becomes a legal issue.
Yes.
And I would love to know, because this issue, I remember going to Vredenhoop there. I think even myself a critic. Right. So I'm very familiar with this issue, and I did see a fence being thrown up across a road and so on, which it didn't only baffle me. I was flabbergasted by this entire that we could actually have a country that is experiencing this. But do that for me and keep me posted what's happening, all right?
Sir, but my point is, I would like to make this point. Now, I want the PPP government to know one thing. The people of this country, we are not slave to you, sir. You are the servant to the people. All we want is justice, my brother.
Yeah.
Because the individual in question, under the APNU government, everywhere you go, this man have avenue that could block you. We could not get our way. So we will try again this year.
Try with Mr. Nanlal. I think he has been open. And he has been meeting with people. I know that he has an open session. I think every Saturday, somebody say every Saturday and so. And you guys could probably even do a little, take a signature kind of thing with a couple of residents.
We already submit that to the Minister of Community.
Uh-huh.
We already sent a letter with all the signatures of the people of the back of the jetty
Uh-huh.
and the vendors who has been affected on the road concerning this
This is a
problem.
bad thing because let me tell you this. If the country, like for example, they were going to build that bridge across from across the river there,
Uh-huh.
it would have land somewhere in Houston area. Now, had the bridge come, right? And for the sake of this country, you got to build a bridge, and a couple of residents don't want to move from the Houston area there. You have under the laws where, for the sake of the country, for the sake of the public good, that the government could do what you call compulsory acquisition
I know of that.
and make a decision and say, look, we are taking it back and we are going to do whatever we want to do with it. They have under the laws they could do that. You need to see Mr. Nanlal and you need to have such discussion with him.
Okay, sir. I'll do that and I'll keep you posted. We don't want to go and protest nobody. We are trying to make appointments, and when the appointment can't work, well, then we'll take it to the next level.
Thank you very much,
Thank you
sir.
very much,
And
sir. You have a blessed day, and let the Kaieteur family progress ahead for 2022. Thank you, sir.
thank you very much, sir. Have a pleasant day. So I'm very familiar with that issue there, and I think that's the best thing. I can't understand that situation. How could you, block off an entire road? Who does things like that? An entire road that leads to a school, that leads to a community with shops and everything, because you have ownership of that area. Imagine they give the man ownership of the road. Who does that? That is unbelievable, the things that happen in this country. Happy New Year's to the Kaieteur family. So good day to you, your Boston listeners. Last time we come to say that civilization, the time has come to say that civilization means nothing to some Guyanese. For example, firecrackers are illegal and still in the full view of the police. People are selling, and sorry, the police force has failed us. It's time we privatize the police force. The next is real benefits from our oil blocks. This is where Mr. Glenn is expected to play a leading role in strategizing to motivate the politicians. This is 2021. Jail all those who are to be jailed and let our country, Guyana, move on. Who vex? Blessings. Good day, Leonard. I'm living on the Neiman Sandpit Esquivel coast for 3 years, and until this day, I can't get the documents to pay for my land. I made several complaints to the house authority in Guyana and Esquivel, and all the complaints are useless. I also live on my land, in my house. I need to pay off for my land and get my documents. Let me see. I can't get no documents to pay off for my land. So you have been allocated and you haven't been sent it. I think that's what you're saying. You got to give me some more details, because if it is that you're allocated, I think before they even give you the title to the land, they got to make sure that they do some legal works there. Was there a delay? Because I know that during under the previous administration there was some delays at the Ministry of Housing there. I rather suspect this is, but you got to give me some more information before I could say, look, this is what you need to do, maybe at the Ministry of Housing and Water. Just keep me posted on that. Good afternoon, Mr. Gregory. Contrary to what the caller felt about Mr. Jack Deer's performance, sorry, I did read that before. My apologies. Brother Leonard, let's be clear that even the queens and kings were involved in stealing, corruption, and slavery, etc. This guy from the Foreign Affairs is trying to get the blessings of the new government. But when he was associated with the sanctimonious gangster and his cartel, his mouth was shut. We cannot eliminate corruption and nepotism, but if these politicians, again, could take a little, then use a giant share of the cash to uplift the Guyanese people, then life will be easy. In the Arab and Western world, these governments are so corrupted. They use migrants to build infrastructure, then they get rid of them, then re-employ the best to fill vacancies which will generate wealth for the next generation. What happened to our leaders? Aren't they seeing how depressed the people of Guyana have become? Gandhi destroyed the British in India with a stick and a lungi. Now it's some of the many young Indians are leading Fortune 500 companies worldwide. Wake up, you politicians, again. Arise, your people out of bondage. Take a page out of Glenn Lal's book. Speak truth, and it will set you and your people free. Is it lungi or lungi? Lungi. Yes, I'm pronouncing it right. You see, Raj is there. Good afternoon. The NDC is not picking up the garbage. Mondripo for 3 weeks now. Why they're picking it up for 3 weeks now? To stop working during the during the Christmas season? You have to work every single day. The business of the people never stops. You can't stop working. You have to go to your work. In this media business, some days I get a little tired. We had to come to work Boxing Day because we have to produce a paper for the next day. Why? because we have an obligation to the people. You cannot stop picking up people garbage because it's a season. I mean, who does those kind of things? Who does that? NDC, get your act together. You have to do your people job. Is there a call in line? Good afternoon, caller. You on the air. Go right ahead.
Hi.
Yes, sir.
Hi. A pleasant good New Year to you.
Yes, sir.
I
Same
know
to
you got a pretty good program going on at the moment,
Yes, sir.
as I may say. I don't want to hold you back on time, if
Go-
I may say.
Yes, go ahead, sir.
What I need to do, I'll try to make a requisition or a complaint or whatever it was concerning, I think you got some insight about it in the West Berbice area.
Uh-huh.
And there seems nobody wants to address it. And it's getting, what do you call it? It's deteriorating, getting worse, and you can't get out of your home. And then the regional authorities I tried talking, as you advised me last week,
Yeah.
talk to Vikram, is that his name, the chairman?
Yeah, the chairman. I think it's Mr. Vikram, yes.
It's Vikram from my colony. He's a nice guy,
Uh-huh.
but he seems not to have the, I don't know, the know-how or the authority or whatever I may say. Or you go with the collaterals to release, to do the funding, because they're doing part of it. When I check the system, it's already clogged up with tins, and somebody's deliberately doing this thing as a spite against our party.
Well, it could be, yes, right. You see, these are the things I don't understand. I mean, look, leadership is something you either have it or you don't have it. You're going to be very firm, even against your family and things like that. You know, one of the problems that I don't have a lot of friends. I mean, I have a lot of people that I talk to and every single day. But when I say close friends, because I'm so brutally honest, I would tell you things. If you ask me my advice, I'm going to say to you things that you probably would not like, for the simple reason because that's the thing that I know. You ask me for my advice, I can't lie to you on that.
Yeah,
and I think
you're
leaders
doing a pretty fine job. At the end of the day, every how I see you putting a lot of effort into this.
But if, the point is what I'm trying to make to you is that we have leadership that want to please everybody. You cannot please everybody. I know that you're part of a party and that there's a policy, a general policy as to where the party is headed and what they want for the country. But you cannot, at the sake of the detriment of the people, that you don't carry out your mandate. Your mandate has to be if you're part of the NDC, I have to ensure that I clean this district here. I have to ensure that I pick up the garbage. I have to collect my taxes. There's 3 core mandates that they have to do. You don't do it, you don't collect it. If you don't collect your taxes, you can't clean it because you're not going to get the money. So, these things, it baffles my mind. It baffles me.
Yeah, I know. You're doing a pretty fine job on the inside out, but they can't use our collaterals from this area and take it to another one.
Right.
Outside of, and it's all in the same nasty guard union, as I did mention prior to now.
Well, let's probably talk off here, and then maybe we could see if I could probably advise you elsewhere how we could get this thing done. But these are things, it really bothers me that we can't talk to our people to find solutions because, like I wanted to make up my road, and they didn't. The NDC didn't have the money, and these are some of the things that we could play around with, thinking out of the box. So I spoke to the NDC, the chairman, and I said, look, we need to fix this road. She says I don't have the materials. I don't happen to have the grader and so on. Our grader is our equipment is broken down. I said, if I get you the asphalt, could you see what you could do? She says, could I get her the asphalt and maybe see how I could get the equipment? So I was working around talking to one of the contractors, I think Geico or so on. But the point is, we were trying to find solutions to some of the problem. How often does our citizen get together with the powers that be and said, look, let's find solution to fix this area? When was the last time within the community that the citizens of that particular street get together? Could we beautify the street? Do we have a council? I did speak about this before. Do we have a council or association to beautify the street here so we could make it the best street in the entire diamond? Have we done that? Do we have people who are selfless? Instead of looking out for themselves, let us start doing things. Maybe there's a neighborhood that is keeping, or there's a house in the street that is making this entire neighborhood look a little different, that is bringing us down. Could we maybe pay to weed his parapet? It's going to cost us $500. Let us help him or help that person because they can't help it. Things like that we need to start thinking about.
Yeah, but Greg, I might ask you, back in times, I can remember, you come out, like North Constructions of building your area, like years back in 2003 and so.
What is the question?
North. Do you remember like North contractors were building your area? I don't know you. You said you belong to Diamond.
Yes, I know the North Construction
Yeah,
Group.
you should ask him. It's somebody I know, but I don't meet. I didn't get to get. I don't want to be too familiar with him, right? Because he's a little crazy with me. But if you can talk to him and let him try to get the contractors to go in and see what they could do to your area. I'm very sorry for your site. I mean, it feels me a lot to know about too.
Oh, no problem. Call me afterwards. Call me like tomorrow, and let us have a chat about it. And I could probably see what exactly and give the
We
details.
can do all that. At least you're looking at the after.
Thank you very much, my
Thank
brother.
you so much, guys.
All the
Great.
best to
No
the
worries.
nation, right? Okay, good afternoon, Mr. Gildarie. The previous government did a street in the Better Hope area. The contractor was Sporen Brothers. The start of the work 1 week before election, then leave the road a mess. Then 1 week before the new government came in off, the contractor come and finish off the work 2 months after the road start to break up. And this is the nonsense that we see happening, that, you know, that people were doing stuff. I mean, as communities, the ministers them are going to be signing off for the contracts. I remember going to plenty contract signing, plenty of them as a reporter, and you're reporting. We've given out contracts of 5 streets of $200 million, and they would talk. And I think some of the ministers used to talk out to the side of the mouth. They would say, you know, as citizens, you have the right to check out what these contractors are doing. And you have a right, and they're supposed to put up the bill of quantities. The bill of quantities, if you don't know, the bill of quantities is basically how much sand, how much stone, how much bitumen, and so on they would use to, let's talk if it's a road project. They're supposed to put it up at the NDC or a place that the citizens could pay attention to, and they could be able to. Guess what? You ask the contractor, don't call me, call the ministry. When you call the ministry, nobody answers. So one big cover up there, as if they're spending their mother money, the father money, and the grandmother money. It's not the people's money. These are the kind of things that we need to talk about, and these are what the people have been saying. So it's just about 2:23 p.m. right here on January the 5th. It is January the 5th, 2021, and I will tell you that you're tuned in to the Wake Up Guyana show with your host, Leonard Gildarie, right here on Kaieteur Radio. We're coming to you live on 99.1 in Esquibo and Demerara, and if you're in Berbice, it's 99.5 FM, also on Facebook, Kaieteur Radio on Facebook, or Kaieteur Radio live stream on YouTube. So we go back very quickly to a couple of messages that our people have with us. Hi, good afternoon. Happy New Year's. I would like to know how long it would take to get a cash grant when you had to fill out a ping form. The people that are sharing the money doing their own thing. Plus, in Diamond Ford Bridge, the NDC not cleaning the canal. They never clean the back drain. Where the street cut short, it is called a bedding. We call in the Grove NDC 2 times and no one come to see. When the rain fall, you see how the place flooded, because the drain is blocked up with the bushes. We pay our land taxes. So you're talking 2 things there. The pink farm. The government, the president in his New Year's address says that they're moving to go to the second phase of the COVID-19. This is not an overnight thing. It's a lot of work, and it's right across the country, 10 regions where people would have filled out pink forms. Those people who would have been renting, those people who would have been living in multi-family kind of properties. So he said that in the new year they're starting that very early, but in the meantime they want to close off with this first phase of the 25,000. They are on the East Bank, and they are moving to the central Georgetown area now, which is the last area before they finish with this and they move to the second phase. How long that is going to take, that is up in the air. We don't happen to have an idea. You also spoken about the NDC. Try to get on to the chairperson of the NDC there, or the Grove NDC. Say that you've spoken to the Kaieteur Radio, and let us know what have happened there with regards to how they would have treated you. I'm interested in that. Good afternoon, Leonard. Happy New Year to you and all the staff of Kaieteur Radio. I finished paying my rates and taxes for my land for this year, 2021. Thank you very much. And it's all good. I would normally pay my own very, very early too. And it's good that you pay your taxes early. NDC too, I understand that you have people defrauding them, overseers and so on, and they cover it up. We would have heard one, I think, up in the Berbice area there, in the Port Morant area. Yes! Port Morant area, millions of dollars. The police being called in the, I think, Peters Hall area too. I would have heard that the one overseer escaped with millions of dollars. They cover it up. Nobody talking about it. All are involved. All are consumed when you cover it up and you don't allow these things to go forward. We cannot allow our people's, an entire community that is left to, how you say it, to suffer because the community NDC decide to cover up something that has happened and they can't get to use those money to clean the community. Who's to be blamed? Is it the people of the community or the NDC management that you have there? You see, these are some of the nonsense that has been going on because when somebody do something, Raj is my colleague worker. Let me cover up for him because he's my good friend. WR Riaz is my partner there. Let me cover up for him. No, 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 no. He messes up. He has to pay the price for that. Do we have a caller in line? Good afternoon, caller. You're Diego right ahead.
Good afternoon.
Yes, good afternoon, sir. How you doing?
Leonard, any movements about this change back of this thing here?
I don't know. I asked you to talk to the NDC. What it
I
is.
talked to them. I sent it him, but no reply. And I don't know if who's the chairman here right now. Actually, I'm telling you.
Could you get on to Raj? What did Raj say?
Which Raj that?
The Raj Rajendra, I think Rajendra Paul. He is one of the councillors there, but we have so many other councillors, and you mean to tell me they're not taking this thing? There's something has been going
to me,
on.
like somebody taking this thing and make joke now. You know what I mean? Like nobody doesn't care. I spoke to someone from the local authority. They tell me they're doing some procurement or some high mark can come later on. So I don't know which year is that going to be taken up.
Right. I'm going to be chatting back about them with this thing here because this is something that's simmering. They need to have that trench cleared. There's a key trench in the Diamond Grove area there, if they could be able to. But when they would have given out those lands to a couple of banks in front there, they never catered for the cleaning of those trenches, which is poor planning. Poor planning.
Now let me tell you, this is very, very unfortunate. But when guys who give the land, I think the NDC was the main man to tell them, look, they have to clean the trench, and y'all can't make the fence so close. They should have left about 8 or 10 feet more of that. But this thing can still be done.
I think it's still, they got to get some long booms and so there.
Even to the long booms. Let it talk to the banks and the gas stations and whatsoever there's place here. I don't know if the government or who can build this fence back inside, and then you break the outside fence, and you're going to get things past there. I think that's the only way, but no other way this trench can be cleaned. No other way.
I'm going to be talking to Minister Deodatindar and Minister Wanedjel again about this because I'm sure that the engineers could come up with a solution to this issue here. They are, I think, at the level of 1-2 of the contractors even have some weed cleaning machines that you would put it on top of the trench, and what it does is clean all the weeds there, and so it gives you a very clear idea what is happening. I agree with you. Let's see how we can do that. Chat with me tomorrow on that.
I would.
Thank you very much. I want to say good day to all who have joined us right across this beautiful country of ours, and of course overseas. A good day to you. What is it that you're doing for the new year? What are some of the plans? Is your body waking up after winding down for the new year? It takes a little waking up, right? What are you doing? What do you have planned for this year? Whatever it is that you do, a new strain of the virus, COVID-19, we are in the mid-160s right now in terms of the number of deaths. Since last year, we've seen some drop in the figures here. Somebody was, I did see a letter yesterday, a warning that the new strain is going to prove a challenge to Guyana, that we should think about closing our borders again. Our numbers are looking good. It has fallen. While one case is just one too many, it is something that we have to pay attention to as well. Good afternoon, Leonard. Okay, that's the lady there.
Let me answer this question.
Yes.
Good afternoon. Let me answer that. Someone made a comment or a message to you about the new strand?
Yesterday we did talk about that.
All right. Because the new, don't get me wrong, not like I'm trying to say that there's no COVID or anything of that sort. But if you're to do the research on a scientific perspective, or do the research instead of just sitting and trying to create that fear in people's mind, the new strand that is out, it is not as detrimental as COVID-19 that is out currently. Right? Let us break it down. Let us break it down on this, and this is where I'll try to narrow rationale. This is a layman's term from the scientific perspective. How I've researched a little bit on this. If you have a bottle of soda or drinks, we call it in Guyana, right? And you want to stretch it. You know, you get a lot of kids. You just want to stretch this 1 liter to get 1.5 liter. What do? You
put some water in it.
All right. The same comes back to this next version or strand. It's a mutation from the current COVID-19. It, according to science, has been saying it catches, but it is not as strong as COVID-19 as we know it as. So, despite I understand the great concern, despite I understand person is worried, let us take the necessary caution. Let us not jump to that grand conclusion as yet. And this has been a proven scientific fact for more and more disease around as it is. And I've been doing a lot of research since a lot of people have been jumping and talking new strand, and they're trying to make it sound like it is this new lockdown, shutdown is going to happen around the world. Research it first, please, before making alarming status and accusations. Take the caution. That is key. And no need
I think so. At the end of the day, we need to protect ourselves.
I need not to repeat the caution mode again. Everyone by now know the caution that we've been talking about.
It is.
So I was just doing my stuff. I need to bring that because I've been hearing too many persons are being too alarmed about this new strand. Do the research before make these conclusions and jump to these conclusions altogether.
Right.
So I just had to bring that to educate the listeners a little bit on this new strand a little bit as well.
Thank you very much. We take just a minute break right now, and as soon as we come back, do not touch those dials. You tune into the Wake Up Guyana show right here on your favorite channel, the Kaieteur Radio channel, with your host Leonard Gildarie. We will be back with you in one moment. Just stand by.
Kaieteur Radio, keeping you informed.
Demerara and Essequibo 99.1 FM.
Burby's 99.5 FM. Kaieteur Radio.
Live with Team MMR. Team MMR. 3 p.m. Monday to Friday on Kaieteur Radio 99.1 and 99.5 FM. Nationwide broadcast on Facebook Live. Music. Never stop. The afternoon high boys are back. The party boss, WRES Selector Andy. Setting your aftertone on Kaieteur Radio.
Yes, good afternoon. Welcome back to the Wake Up Guyana show right here on Kaieteur Radio. You're tuned in to 99.1 if you're in Essequibo and Demerara. In Berbice, it's 99.5. We also coming to you live on Kaieteur Radio on Facebook, Kaieteur Radio live stream on YouTube. The topic of the day, of course, would be what do we do for the new year? How should you treat your politicians? And that is at the end of the day, not only politicians, leaders, execs on the different boards and the state entities. We've been talking that no longer are we going to be tolerating some of the subpar, below par behavior and the kind of outputs that they would have been doing over the year, and expect us to accept that and say that's okay. You have to wake up. Wake up and smell the coffee because it's a Wake Up Guyana show. Do we have a caller in the air? Good afternoon, caller. You on the air. Go right ahead.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, ma'am. You sound very upbeat. Let me hear you.
I sound very upbeat.
Upbeat.
Yeah, I applied for a piece of land since 1993, the 26th day of October.
Yes.
Until now, I haven't got any letter to say go in or such.
Do you still have an application on file?
Listen on, let me complete.
Uh-huh.
So the previous government had it at coffee. And when I applied, they see that I applied since 1993, the 26th of October.
Right.
So they said they're going to use that old application.
Uh-huh.
And to date, I got every document put up. And secondly, I have an uncle also who applied for land 2014, pay all his money, and can't get the transport or get to start building his property. And I'm hearing that how much a house lot giving out and titles.
They are working year by year. At least that's what it is said with us, because we don't have access to those information. But what I could do,
But look at since 1993.
Did you go into the ministry to find out?
Yes.
When was that?
That is year for the last.
There's a new government. There's a new government there. You should.
Oh, they're not answering the phone. They give me a phone number, and they're not answering the phone now. I applied 93, right? Now, I'm having a disability. So now, the previous government is said, they were going to try to see if they could build a house for persons with disability. So I wish to God that this present government could build a home for persons with disability, because I am not working anywhere.
You need to get into the Ministry of Housing. And you need to find out, and if I'm not sure whether you could find out for your brother or the
My
relative,
uncle.
your uncle, but you could find out about yourself.
Yeah, he pay off all his money.
Where is he? In Guyana or overseas? You said?
He's in Guyana. He's renting a property. And
you're going, walk with the documents, if you have the documents, and tell them that you would have applied since then, and ask them whether they still have it on file. And because I know they would have gone since 1993, that's supposed to have been finished already. It's unbelievable. No, I don't think. I think something is wrong there. You need to get in there. Do not sit at home. Go right into them and tell them that you want to find out what's the status on your application for a house lot.
I'll do that.
Yes, ma'am, and let me know how it goes. Right?
Yes, I have time.
Thank you very much.
Bye.
So I think they would have gone past. They would have gone past that period there right now. From 1993, I think they're working somewhere a couple of years. What we do know is that right now the Ministry of Housing and Water would have, I think Central Housing and Planning Authority has anything about 70,000 house lot and applications for I think turnkey homes on file at the Central Housing and Planning Authority. So we have to. That's something to talk about, but it's unacceptable. I don't believe that they should be on file right now an application for since 1993. That's supposed to be looked at, and as we move forward, I think they're the last time I was told they're about 2015 thereabouts, but I have to talk back to the Minister of Housing, Colin Crowell, let him give me an update. But I was told it's about 70,000 applications, and they're hoping to address that 70,000 applications within the 5 years in government for the finale in the fourth term, because he's hoping for a second term. Remember that, right? So, and he is banking on giving out 50,000 house lots between the 5 years. Good afternoon, Mr. Leonard, and these are some messages to the number 6222222, your WhatsApp, and this is one caller listening. This is what I have to say. Good afternoon, Mr. Leonard, living in Grove New Scheme. Every time the rainfall, we get in flood. Call the NDC, never get through. You need to pick up yourself and get into the NDC there, and this is wrong for the people who can't call the NDC. Grove NDC, you get the guys getting a lot of flack there. What is happening? What's happening? Geeta Ramnarayan was there as the former chairperson, and I think she was very proactive. We had her here on this program right here on Kaieteur Radio, and she was very proactive. I mean, since she's gone, I think she's a deputy PS at the Ministry of Education now. Has there been a new chairperson? I'm not sure. If that being the case, you guys are coming for some licks. Get your act together. You have to. The people are demanding. That Grove Diamond area is a big area. We have lots of homes there in the Old Grove. You go down to Caneville. You have Samantha Point as well. You have Grove Squatting area. And then right across the dam, right behind your NDC office here, people squatting across on the River Dam area there. And you never saw it. And, that's something that really, really bothered me. Where was the NDC and all this that was happening? It's just about 2:40 in the afternoon. Good afternoon. So I applied for public assistance 24th September 2020. My name is so from Edinburgh, Berbice. I do not have any calls or did not get any calls from them. My phone number is so. My husband died. Please help me. I'm going to send this to the Minister and the PS of Human Services. and let them have a look at it. I'm really sorry about your husband. Our condolences, and I'm going to see what I could do here for you, ma'am. I'm hoping that you guys are having a better year. Let's all look forward in a very positive way for a very productive year, 2021. It's a very important year in the whole scheme of things. Do we have another call in line? Good afternoon, caller. You're on the air. Go right ahead.
Hi, Leonard. Happy New Year.
Same to you, sir. Go right ahead.
I was fortunate to call in and say about this application that she had since when?
1993.
1993. I applied in 2011.
2000 when?
11.
11.
And I got through.
And you got through. That is why I'm saying. I know they are wrong by the mid 2015, 2014 thereabouts.
That is something wrong with her. Either she just wrote the application, it is not a record there, or something whatsoever. You understand?
I asked her to get into to CHMP there.
Now, Leonard, what I want to find out about, when are we going to get this COVID money?
I have no idea. I know that they're in the Hope area. Somebody told me that the Hope area.
COVID done and COVID money ain't going to pay.
No, they're going to finish. I think it's just that because, look, you have some issues, and I think the issue that I was told is that you're dealing with cash. They got to get the police people involved. And we're hearing some wicked police. But here the thing is, how much persons could you put cash? How much persons do you trust to put cash in the hands of?
Yeah, you're talking right.
I think these are in the Ministry of Finance, as well as the Ministry of Public Works, the PS there, are the ones that are spearheading this COVID-19 cash grant, the 25,000. And so it's a big issue, because
with this school system here, right? What I suggested, right? Why does the school don't open up and do a two-session school with separation?
No, it's a difficult thing. It's not only beholden school. The kids got to go to school. How they reach into school? They're using public transportation, right?
Yeah.
How do you control that? How do you control?
If a set is not going in.
Pardon?
If a set is not going in for the morning session, and they're going after lunch.
Well, that might be something. I hear you with that. They have to think about it.
I really think they should consider it too, because, kids at home, particularly, a poor person who can't put a children into a private school.
Right.
Cannot afford that. I think that the government school them should, like, Georgetown some primary and these schools, and take them into two sessions. If they normally would start...
It has to be, I think, I would not... knowing Priya Manik-Chan as the Minister of Education, she's a very proactive lady. Yeah. I think they would, with all the exports that they have, they with the Chief Education Officer, this is one of the many options that they would be looking at as to whether you do part of it in the morning or part in the afternoon. The minute that you start putting the kids in the public transportation system, because how many parents really got to think? It is.
To be very, very proactive and take care of that part.
Right. It's an issue.
You are the parents, you have to hold a responsibility.
No, but you see, the thing is, my kids, I could give you the example of my kids. I would have control over them. But the minute I turn my back, they're kids. They're going to push you. They're going to do things like, you watch them, they lie down in bed with the phone waiting for the class to begin. And I don't want this. I guess I'm from the old school. You got to get up, brush your teeth, get yourself in the school uniform, because you have to put yourself in the mode, in the school mode.
Do that. Wash my own pants in the
No, right. And you got to wear your school uniform. And so, for me, it's a different thing. But I hear what you're saying. I think you have a point. Yeah.
With the part that I tell you with the school, right?
Yes.
I am saying this, that you could take a session. We cannot expect to get a whole session of school. At least a 2 hour out. You exit. You get another batch, another 2 hour, and you exit. You give them a lot of work to do when they get at home. You understand?
I agree with you. I think even in the hinterlands area there, you could probably be able to do it, but you would probably have to do it in phases. But it's going to be a difficult thing, but it's something to really think about. I think you have a point there, right?
7 to 10. 10, 11, 12, 1 o'clock. 1 o'clock, 1, 2, 3, you're over. So I have a 3 session that kids could get on with their work.
I hear what you're saying there, sir. Thank you very much. I'm going to raise this maybe when I chat with the minister. I haven't been able to chat with her for a little while.
Thank you so much, and enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you very much, and all the best for New Year, too. So, very important point raised by that caller, because if you're allowing the older folks, the older students, to get a school for the 10th, 11th, 12th grade there. Why not use the same yardstick to do it for the younger children? The problem that you're going to do there is because you overwhelming not only the public transportation system there, which improves the risk factor there, but you also asking the school to do something else there, because these are the kids, the priority is given to the kids who are about to write exams. But it is something to think about, because what happens in the hinterland areas where, a lot of kids don't have access to internet, of course, it diminishes as you go farther and farther inland. How do you deal with that? And the availability of those printed schoolwork and so on. But it's something to think about, maybe as the authorities, as they look into it, they would have to continuously look into that. Mr. Gildarie, on behalf of myself and family, please accept sincere greetings for the new year. Let I'm a bit disagreement with what WRE has just said. There are people out there that just listen to him and now saying to themselves, how if you could say so, then I wear no mask and some other things. It's not so serious. Everything is all right. No. We were talking specifically about the new strain, the new mutated virus, how it is. While they're saying it is more catching, it seems to lend itself that it's going to catch pretty quickly. It's not as deadly, or it's not it's not going to work in its way as the other one, because it doesn't, it has a little, it's not going to attack as the other one, the first one that we would have seen. But you can't stop it, because we're still in a pandemic mode right across the world. The world is facing a pandemic. It simply means that the only thing that we could do right now, until we learn a little more about this, as we get to know a little more about this virus here, we still have to do what is important. Make sure you wear your mask. Make sure that you're sanitizing. And if you're in a public place, social distancing. If you got to do your thing, make sure that you stay far apart. I did see somebody post up a picture that that blew my mind away. They put the people to stand in the airport, social distance, 6 feet apart. But when you sit in the airplane, you're sitting in the airplane right next to each other with your mask on. I mean, how stupid could it get? But it's a very serious thing. We do everything. At home, we wash our baygon or our belange. We wash all our vegetables, and we wash our hands, go to the toilet 20 seconds or whatever that you do there. But you go out on the road and you sit next to each other and you play pools together and you hold the one pool stick and so on. You go to the same washroom and hold the one pipe and you wash your hands and you do the same thing. Crazy people, aren't we? And that's how we think. We got to be very logical. We got to be very serious. If you want to battle this thing here, there's certain things you can't avoid, but there are many things that you can. And if you can do that, why not do it? Because your children are going to be a thing. It isn't. You can't look at it and say, well, you know what? This thing is happening in WREA's area on the east bank of Demerara. It's happening across the river in that little place called Sisters Village. It's not happening there alone. It's happening here. We have deaths happening in Region 6. We have deaths happening in Region 10. So it's no longer in Region 4 or the outlying area. It's every way across this country. I told you that my brother's family, 2 of them died in 2 senior citizens. And it's being blamed on COVID-19. These are things that we have to live with. Is there another call in the air? Good afternoon, caller. You're on the air. Go right ahead.
Hi, good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, sir.
Let me check the radio. I want to make some comments. You know, I see the president announce some money with sugar worker. You know, sugar worker get 5%, and the pensioners them as entitled to the 5%. And from one of the harsh mouth from the representative, tell one of the colleagues that we will get it, and so if I meet him back and say we not get it, we deserve that.
Are you talking that the sugar workers did not get the money?
No, I said they get 5%.
Right.
No, the pensioners has get the increase, the 5%.
Uh-huh.
What I'm saying, that one of the colleagues tell me that one of the representatives take the matter up with the minister, and he said, get our money, by me back, he said, we don't get it. That is just unfair. Now, 1, 2. This teacher...
No, wait. Before you go forward there, I'm getting a little confused. The pensioners have received their increase, and you're saying the sugar workers are not bothering to get their money that was announced by the president?
No, man, I'm not talking about that, man. I'm talking about wage increase.
Wage increase.
Yeah, 5% they get,
Uh-huh.
which normally goes to the pensioner. Once you get that, the pensioner get, because we contribute. I work 44 years.
Right.
All years you get it, you understand me?
Right.
Who's the little money that you get? You understand now? I understand the president said $25,000 to the sugar worker. I don't know if the pensioner involved in that. You understand me?
Right, right.
Now, the next one. The teacher and not teach. They get a fat salary since COVID-19. They get every month. And I can project that half of these teachers don't go on the net and teach the children them. But they're getting their fat salary. They're getting $25,000 from the government now. Right? I'm saying that when this thing over, maybe next year or the other year, they go see them go up and strike, they want 20% and I want 20%, but they're not strong. I think that I'm going to get a fat salary every month. That's what I'm saying. And the next one, when they talk about corruption, corruption can never stop. You can never, all over the world, corruption there. And no man can stop it. And when they come from flooding, maybe they're draining and so it can help. But flooding, you can't stop it, friend. Nobody can stop the climate change will come on. None. And then, now the NDC, I went for pay. We were paying $1,200 for the land, the land rent, right?
Yeah.
The girl told me, that is last year, just a couple of days before Christmas, that you got to pay $4,000 from this year. It means that you jump by 300%. And we don't have to pay nothing. You understand what I'm saying?
All right.
No, we don't have to pay nothing. Now you jump from there from 1,200 to 4,000. He said 2 for the house and 2 for the land. And Barjak even mentioned that we never put on these things. How come these things come on, man? You give me $25,000 and you take back $5,000. Only expense. You understand what's going on?
Yes, yes, I hear what you're saying.
I just can't understand what's going on.
All right.
Let me tell you something. We got some road bad in CA. At Ramadan government, they don't have faith there, and then confidence motion come. I don't know if the NDC enlighten the people of our region that this road them very bad what we got here, brother.
Well, what you need to do right away, you need to make sure that you call them and said, please, I insist that for this year here, because I think they're doing the budget right now for 2021, they're doing the preparations for it. I want you to include it for the new year.
No, the NDC deliberated it. I talked to them.
You have to insist. You have to insist, my brother.
Look, the minister Bernard Tushin. I mean, he's, the people I think, and they're hard working. Girls don't doing their work and so, right?
Yeah.
And he was going there. And when he see the street, that street the minister didn't see. I think the minister is somewhere around there or something. And when he see the street, he vehicle going, and when he going, like when he go in a ditch, and you climb on hill to come up, like at the highway.
Right.
Right away, the man put this thing on the phone. And get things between.
Which minister is that? Does the that in there?
I think so. That's Tushin.
Right.
And look at the road start, dig up there and build.
No, well, you see, that's the thing. I think all I've been saying, that the power of the people is right within their hands, and we've got to start, like I've said it and I'm going to say it again, do not allow the tail to wag the dog. I mean, we're the ones who put them in there, and you got to tell me that I got to beg you to fix my street. Please put it into your work plan for this year. I'm not asking you. I'm telling you that's what you need to do, because you got to stop talking to these people as if you're begging them. Do not do that.
And then that guy, what Sugar, he's talking nonsense.
Sugar is too big. We have to be very careful. I used to think about that.
Government has to build back their stadium to keep a supporter.
Yes, no, sir. No, sir.
Let me put it this way. If you build back, you give people jobs.
No, but you have to build it. You have to run any business in Guyana. I'm not saying that. I'm saying it is important, but you have to understand why it's important.
You know the guy who come from one of the Middle East. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
I think that he wants to buy all the sugar. I'm not going to skin my lip over.
Do you know? Look, we're gonna take. But in any case, we come to be running on. We
All right.
are out of time. Let's have a chat. But I'm gonna address this quickly as we wrap up. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you very much. Prosperous New Year. Gentleman there all the way, pensioner from the CI area there on the west coast, Cornelia Ida on the west coast of Demerara. Very, very quickly. Sugar, we got to be careful how you do with sugar. While, yes, there's been arguments that you close it down, it's not making money. But sugar, because of the big volume, you have 16,000 workers. They're paying NIS. You take that entire NIS contribution. A big chunk of NIS revenues has gone there. That's one. Two, revenues to GRA. While, yes, you're making the losses, you got to be very careful. There's some other services spin-offs because every time you close an industry, I've seen it happening in more. I've seen it happening in Wales. I was one that always looked at it. You know what? You close the sugar industry down, it's not making money. I can't find that a year after year you put in $6 billion, $8 billion, $9 billion into the industry. That is not going anywhere. But you cannot just close it down the side. What you have to do is start making sure that you keep the jobs, or at least keep some of the jobs, but make sure that the communities are the ones who are not going to lose. And if the people are going to come in, that you try to get these jobs there. There's so many things that comes as a result of sugar. You just cannot turn your back on it. It's too big, but at the same time, you cannot continue to take something and throw it into a hole, a bottomless pit that is going nowhere. But we could have a conversation and we continue to talk a little. But this has been a wrap up of the Wake Up Guyana show right here on Kaieteur Radio. If you've missed us, you could get us on Kaieteur Radio on Facebook, Kaieteur Radio live stream on YouTube. And we will be back with you, same place, same time tomorrow. As always, it's been a pleasure being with you people. And we continue to engage to try to find solutions to make this country and this world a better place, and to raise the level, raise the bar when it comes to this country here, to make it into a place that we really want to be proud of, that we really want to live in, and to say that this is Guyana, the place that everybody wants to go. We've seen the rush towards Guyana. Do we want to benefit? Do we want to really understand the value of our citizenship? Or do you want to just sit there, sit in your hands, and allow this country and the world to spin by? Have a pleasant rest of the day. Until then.